Alright everyone, so I have the ingredients for the next struggle meal. This may not look like a struggle meal because I've got ground beef here and potatoes and carrots and onions, but I'm going to call this a struggle meal for a family. And it could be like a family of 4, a family of 3, could be like 2 adults, 2 kids. So I'm going to call it a struggle meal under $10 for a small family. Alright, so we're going to actually make foil packs. You don't have to make them into foil packs, but that's what we're going to do. And in the foil pack, I'm going to make the ground beef into patties. Since it's just 2 of us, I'm going to make 2 large patties, 1 for each of us, 1 potato for each of us, some carrots, and some onions. So again, in this video, I'll go ahead and break down the cost so you can really see how these become struggle meals, even though it contains ground beef in it. When we got this ground beef, we bought the 5-pound tube and divided up. It was on sale for 23, I think, I don't know, high change. Dividing that up into 5 pounds, this brings this pound of ground beef to under $5. If you bought a tube of ground beef, a pound, you're going to pay probably $6 for it. So I think this came out to $4.75. So if you can afford it, buy the tube. It brings down the cost of your each pound. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start cutting. I'm not going to record me cutting everything. I'll just show you the results at the end. Alright, so I'll be back. Alright everyone, so we are ready to make our Hobo foil packs. So these are called Hobo foil packs, and we actually have done these without the meat in the past, but today we're putting the hamburger patty in there. So what we have is potatoes, carrots, and onion. And when we made these foil packs in the past, we put these 3 ingredients in it along with tabs of butter. And then we would wrap them up like that, and then we would grill our meat out on the grill. But today we're doing it all together. So let's get some of this ready. I think I'll put it this way. Throw some onion in there. Glenn likes a lot of onion. He can have it all, as far as I'm concerned. Right, give him a couple more carrots. Alright, so now with the hamburger patty going on top, it's going to render grease all over this, so it helps it cook. But I'm still going to put some a couple tabs of butter in each of our packs, just in case. We don't know how it's going to come out, so I can't imagine it'll come out bad. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and put 2 tabs of butter there. And once I put the hamburger patty on here, then I'm going to season the whole thing. Alright, so I'm going to put Glenn's on there first. We have 2 hamburger patties, 1 for Glenn, 1 for me. I usually take a smaller one. I don't eat as much of the hamburger patty as he does. Like if I cook hamburger patties on the stove with mac and cheese or something, I only usually take 1. Now here's the kicker for us. Since we don't have a family, well, we don't have kids, and the fur babies don't count for this meal. We are not using the whole pound of ground beef, so that makes it an even cheaper meal for us. And just to show you, we have the other half of the ground beef in here for another meal. So what I think we're going to do with this is maybe tomorrow we'll make something that Glenn eats that I don't eat, and I'll use the ground beef for myself. So that cuts the price of the ground beef in half and lessens your costs. But if you're a family of 4, you can easily get 4 patties on here, 1/4 pound patties. Alright, so now we got that. You know what, you can just have the onion. Alright, so we're just going to season with seasoned salt. Oops. Pepper. Season with whatever you want to. And put in here whatever you want to. It doesn't necessarily have to be this. It's just make your foil packs into what you want them to be. And onion powder. Even though there's onions in there, we always put onion powder in there. A bit much, so just spread it around. Alright, so now we're going to close this up. That's a big foil pack. Alright, I'm going to go to the sides. And the sides I'm going to fold up so when the grease comes rolling out, and I already poked a hole in there. That's okay, I'm putting these on a cookie sheet anyway. Could have moved it over a little bit. And I don't want to, because I poked a hole in there, I don't want to double wrap it. Maybe I will that particular area. Or maybe make it higher so the grease doesn't come rolling out. There. Problem solved. Alright, so there's one foil pack. And I'm going to go ahead and do mine, and then I'll be right back. Alright everyone, so I got the 2 foil packs done. Mine is much smaller, so it folded over much easier. And I didn't realize how much I gave Glenn, but that's okay. Once it's done, if I need more, I'll just pick from his. But now they're ready to go in the oven at 350, and I'm not sure how long they're going to take, but I will let you know by the end of the video how long it took. And in the video I will also break down the cost of this to make, so that way you know how cheap it is, even though it looks more expensive, how cheap it is to feed a family 4 without going to McDonald's or wherever you might take your kids to eat. So alright, let's get it in the oven and I'll be back. Alright everyone, so we are ready to check this. Oh my gosh, it smells really good. Those hamburger patties sure shrunk though. Yeah. So I actually probably could have left them as half pounders and we would have got a bigger patty. That like really shrunk. Everything seems soft so far. Oh yeah. And there's plenty of juice at the bottom, so this is 80-20 ground beef. Oh yeah, everything is ready. So this has been in for an hour. Everything is poking through just fine. Alright, so I'm going to close this back up. So at 350 for an hour. And if his is done, mine's definitely done. Yeah, with the size of those hamburgers, you're either gonna, if you want it to be the same size as when it went in, you probably want like the leanest hamburger meat there is. Otherwise, use more hamburger. These are like baby patties. Oh yeah. Everything is done. So I'm going to turn off the oven. I'm going to throw these back in just to stay warm until I've got Glenn up and ready to eat. So there it is. I've already calculated everything, and I went through Walmart and wrote down prices and everything. So I'm going to put them on the screen right after this. All right, so I'm going to do the outro right now, but remember to stay on the video so you can see the price breakdown. All right, so I already know this is going to taste good. So that is going to do it for this struggle meal. $10 can feed a family of 4, or 2 bigger patties for a family of 2. All right, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I appreciate all the support. And with that, remember to live life, be good to yourself, and be good to others. Until next time. All right, everyone, so let's break down the cost of this Hobo foil pack. And I'm calling this a struggle meal, but people might not think of it as a struggle meal because it contains ground beef, and ground beef is not the cheapest. But if you buy it in tubes, like Walmart has 5-pound tubes, 3-pound tubes, it'll be cheaper in the end. So if you can afford to buy ground beef in tubes, please do so, because that's going to give you more bang for your buck in the end. So I have a price here of $4.75 for that pound of tube because we bought it in a 5-pound tube. And breaking down the cost of it, it was 23 and some change. Breaking down the cost of it per pound came out to $4.75 per pound. Now, if you buy these 1-pound tubes instead of 3 or 5-pound tube, you're going to pay more. You're going to pay actually $2, a little over $2 more. So pricing a 1-pound tube of ground beef, 80/20, is $6.83. So that's quite a bit of difference between breaking it down and dividing it over a 5-pound tube. So doing it and buying in bulk, I guess I'll say buying in bulk instead of just buying in tubes. So buying in bulk will be cheaper in the end for you. So if you can afford to, I don't know your budget, but if you can afford to, buy in bulk. Always buy in bulk if you can. So $4.75 for a pound. Now I'm putting the whole $4.75 in there for the sake of feeding a family of 4. But we actually only used half of that, so this total cost was much cheaper for us. It was a couple dollars cheaper for us. So 2 medium to large potatoes would be $1.40 for 2 of them, which is what we used. And we actually used 1 whole bag, which would be 1 pound of carrots. That is $1.32, and a medium onion at 86 cents. So our total for feeding a family of 4 for these Hobo foil packs is $8.33. For us, it was only $6 for 2 people because we only used half a pound. Now, if you buy the ground beef in the single pound, just 1 pound, you pay the $6.83. Your total will jump up a couple dollars. You'll be probably still be between the $10 and $11 range, which is still very cheap if you're feeding a family of 4 rather than taking them to McDonald's or whatever fast food you might take them to. So between $10 and $11, you're going to get off much cheaper, and the food's going to be way better. So all right, so I just wanted to break that down for you, and again, just kind of open everybody's eyes to how much it really does cost eating at home or cooking at home versus eating out. So it might not be the same for everything, but in this particular case, it is. All right, so that's gonna do it for this video. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next meal.